A very good evening to you all, and welcome to the 8th episode of Market Replay. If you are tuning in for the first time, I am your host, Koketso Ditlhakanyane, founder and head technical analyst at Ace Forex Academy. Just to give you a brief understanding of the purpose of the series of these videos, and that is that the purpose of these videos is just to share my take on the different opportunities that were presented to us in a specific security on the market. And how I will then be doing that is that I will be reviewing a day's worth of price information in the form of candlesticks, and I will be highlighting the different trading opportunities that were presented to us and how we would have traded them in conjunction with the Ace Forex Academy specific candlestick momentum pullback trading strategy. With this particular episode, we are going to do things a little bit differently because we will be looking at the South African top 40, right, index. Okay, I know that usually I'm reviewing currency pairs, but with this episode we're looking at some diversification, right? As we know with investing, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket, right? Always aim to diversify the different baskets that you have and then distribute your money accordingly, right? To not waste any further time, for today's episode we'll be looking at market data from the 20th of July, which was this past Monday, right? And how we would have traded this specific day with the South African top 40. All right, let's have a go. Right, first going to start off by marking out our trend. Right, started off with a bullish opening, right, since markets were to the upside. That didn't last too long, with the bears then kicking in and pushing price to the downside. Right, they continued giving us our lower highs and lower lows, but that didn't last long. Bulls then kicked in and pushed price to the upside. Okay, and then we're given a brief moment of consolidation that we have marked over here. All right, and after this brief moment of consolidation, price then continued to go to the upside, giving us our higher highs and our higher lows, right, which are the defining characteristics of our uptrend, right? So you can see we're given another moment of consolidation over here. We'll mark that out. Okay, and then we can follow the trend. Okay, continued pushing higher, our high lows and higher highs, high lows and higher highs, right? Another period of consolidation before the breakout. Okay, bulls then kicked in, right, and then trend then changed to the downside. Okay, and this was our trading day, right? As you can see, our trading day started at 8:30 and we then had a close, all right, further than at 8:30, right? Okay, apologies for that. Our trading day started at around 8:30, all right, and then we had a close at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, sorry for that. I don't know what happened with my crosshair tool over there. Okay, let's further then move on to inspect these particular opportunities. We will start with this consolidation region that we have over here, right? And let's have a look at how we would have taken this opportunity, right? Let's move on to a lower time frame, zoom into that particular opportunity, right? Yes, so this was a very big consolidation zone. However, that doesn't change anything, right? Start on our left as always with our standard operating procedure, and what we can then see is a swing high, right? And what a swing high then presents you with is an opportunity to forecast your area of resistance, all right, which is also known as your area of supply, all right. And with that understanding, we can then pull out our modified Fibonacci tool and forecast this entire move to the upside. All right, so what we are essentially looking for is a retracement that sits well below the 50% level, right? And as you can see with this bearish candlestick that we have that ticked off the box, and that then tells us that in this particular trading scenario we were looking for a close above that high before taking any trading opportunity, right? And with pulling out our modified Fibonacci tool in order to forecast our position, we can then see that with the close of this bullish candlestick, we then have the needed close to the upside, right? And we can then forecast that. Okay, now having a look at this particular trade, let me zoom out. Right, we always strive to make sure that our trades meet the minimum, right, risk reward ratio of 1:1. And what we can see in this particular trade is that that objective is then met, right, because our 1:1 risk reward ratio, which is our minimum, sits well below our level of resistance or area of supply, which then represents our possible turning point in the market, right? So upon taking this trade, we would have then had a comfortable 1:1 risk reward, and then with leaving the remaining portions of our trades open, we will have then far exceeded the 1:2 risk reward return that we were also aiming for, right? So this was a very good trading opportunity. It was a very rewarding buy, right, of the South African top 40 index, right? And that's how we would have simply taken this particular trading opportunity, right? Let's move on to the next one. Let's have a look. Let me just clear up the chart. Okay, so this is our next trading opportunity, right? And let's have a look. Move on to a lower time frame. Okay, start on your left so that you can have some history to forecast into the future. We have the formation of a swing high, and what does a swing high give you? Swing high then gives you your level of resistance, okay, which then represents your level of supply, right, or your area of supply, right? And with that understanding, we then pull out our modified Fibonacci tool, number one, to gauge the retracement, right? And we are looking for a close below 50% level, okay? And with that understanding in mind, we then see that we needed a close past this high in order to take a buy, right, and join the trend. Okay, now we then pull out our modified Fibonacci and forecast our possible take profit targets, right? And what we can then see in this particular case is that our minimum risk reward that we are aiming for, right, far exceeds our resistance zone. So we would have not taken this particular trade, because remember, history is showing that this is a possible turnaround. Okay, so you don't want to be buying anything that's not rewarding, because price might turn around and what we see as rewarding, which is the 1:1 risk reward return, far exceeds this zone, right? So we would have not taken this particular trading opportunity, right? And it's that simple. Okay, in trading, that's how it works. As you can see, we missed out a move to the upside, but that's how it works in trading, right? You follow your rules, and if the trade that's presented to you doesn't tick all your boxes, do not take the trade, right? Even though you missed out, you can't be suffering from FOMO, right? Because in most cases, you would be glad that you had not taken this particular opportunity, right? Because it would have turned around on you. Okay, we can then move on to the next one, right? And this is our last trading opportunity that was presented to us. Let's move on lower to understand it. Okay, oh, this is a beautiful one. What we can then see is the formation of a swing high, right? Like I said before, your swing high then represents your area of resistance, which in turn then gives you a forecast of your area of supply, right? And what does that tell you? Your area of supply tells you that, look, trader, there are sellers who are parked in this particular region, right? They are parked here because in history or previously, this was a high price where it was seen as being high enough to then flood the market with supply of CFDs of the South African top 40, right? And that's the understanding you should have between your areas of supply and demand before taking on these particular positions, right? So because we know that sellers are parked here, we are looking at price turning around. And as you can see, price came to the downside, then entered our area, and then they pushed back to the downside, with buyers taking profit here because they forecasted the swing high, and with sellers entering the market here because they then forecasted that the price would be high based on the history, right? And with that understanding, we don't even need to pull out our Fibonacci right now, because what we can then see is that we have the classic case of a fake out, right? Let me zoom in. Price closed outside and we were waiting for price to close back inside. Okay, with price closing back inside our zone, what we can then do is forecast our minimum risk reward ratio. All right, and as we can see, our minimum risk reward ratio return, okay, sits well below our turning point. Okay, and 1:2 is the only one that exceeds that particular turning point, right? So we would have taken a buy position, and immediately upon hitting 1:1, we would have closed more than half of the position, right? And as you can then see, price wasn't able to push up further to hit the 200% mark, and it came back down and stopped us out on our positive stop loss. And that's how we would have simply taken this buy. So let's go back to the highest time frame. As you can see, we had a very beautiful day with the South African top 40 pushing towards the upside, right? We had the presentation of good buying opportunities, which are in the form of these consolidation zones. Like you can see, we had 1, 2, 3, and out of the 3 we managed to score 2. Very good trading day in my books. We followed our rules to the T and we scored. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the review of the South African top 40 on Monday's trading day, right? If you found this video to be very informative and you found it to be very educational and it contributed towards your trading abilities or your understanding of the charts, please do like the video, and also please do subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. But if you have subscribed, please do hit the bell notification icon, and that's just to ensure that you are alerted the next time I upload a new episode. All right, for your episode of the South African top 40 and your 8th episode, that will be it. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.